And here we are in the most important section, Arduino IDE. So Arduino IDE is the most important application that we'll be using in this course. So this helps you to communicate with the Arduino and program the Arduino, and anything to do with the Arduino has to be done through the Arduino IDE. So there are some other options. There are like some online versions. I believe it's called online Arduino editor, and we also have something like a portable IDE. So there are, like, say, different options, but like this would be a standard option that we will be using in this course. And the Arduino IDE is like very simple, and let's go over, like, say, different sections on different buttons that are available in Arduino IDE and like what they do. So let's get started with the first item here, like, which is the menu bar. So the menu bar gives you access to the tools that is needed for creating and saving Arduino. So there are some buttons as well, like, which you can use to say open or, like, say, create a new sketch. So our programs are called sketch. So we can open a new sketch, and we can also save the sketch using buttons, but like a more conventional way is to go to file, and you can open or, like, say, open an existing one or like create a new one, and you can save. All those options are available in file and in edit. You have redo, the common options that you will find in any word processing applications, or, like, say, in any PowerPoint applications. It's going to be like very similar to that. So there are like few things like which would be like quite different. For example, sketch or like the tools. So we would have to we have used tools already, like to connect your Arduino with Arduino IDE, and probably there are like a couple more options in there. In Sketch, like, we have options related to library management, which we'll be seeing in the later part of this module. And you have everything in there. So if you don't know, say if you couldn't find a button for doing something, probably if you go to one of those, you will definitely see a return label for the tools or the functions you want in the Arduino IDE. So that is the menu bar. And next, let's start with the verify button. So verify button is the button that is used to compile our codes. So once we compile, or like during the compilation process, so if there was any syntax error, so we know we have to write a program, and program has to be written according to a syntax. And if we don't, if we have missed something, if we missed a semicolon, or like if we missed something, if we have put in some wrong spelling, or like wrong something, which is not spelled according to the syntax actually, so then the errors will pop up and your programs will not be compiled. So this is done with the verify button. And the next button is called the upload button. The upload button is to upload your compiled program. So you can just use the compiler, like, or the verify button to compile your program and see if you have any errors, like, and you can debug your program. But like once you're done with that, you can use the upload button. But like if you're like really confident, you can just like go ahead with the upload button. But like anyways, it'll first compile, and then it'll also upload the compiled program. So again, what we mean by compiling is we say the program, like the Arduino C, which we are talking about, is considered like high-level language. But this language will not be understood by the microcomputer. So we already know that the computers just understand zeros and ones. So we need to compile all those and convert that into zeros and ones. So that is what we do during the process of compilation. So it will compile them and convert everything into zeros and ones, and the upload button also uploads that compiled file into the microcontroller of your Arduino. And that is the upload button. And then we have a button for a new sketch, and so that is that. And we also have a space where you have the name of the sketch. If you try to save those, and there's also a sign, so which whenever you have this, you will have to make sure you save them. So if you save your code, then you're safe actually. So so that is why this sign appears. And first, when you create a new file, like you can use the file, or like you can use the save function to save your program or like the code. So that is that. So you have your sketch name, and you also have the save function. And the sixth function is the open existing sketch. So you can also do that in the file option here in the menu, or you can also use this button that is available. And let's go to the next Arduino IDE. So we have 7. So we have save sketch. We already talked about that. And the most important button, which is on the right corner here, is the serial monitor. So this serial monitor is how you will be communicating with the Arduino during runtime. So when you execute your program, you can like talk with it, or it can talk to you, and like it can give you some information. So let's say you can like request some information from that, and if the during the program, when the program is running, or like when the program is executing, that's what we call. So when that happens, and if it understands the command you give, it can respond to that. Like saying, let's say I can ask for, okay, what is the temperature? So if I've programmed the microcontroller to understand my question, that is like, what is the temperature? And then if it understands that, and then if I have a program that will take the temperature information from the temperature sensor and then like spit out through the serial communication, then like I would see that information here in the serial monitor. So this is how I talk with the microcontroller during runtime. And we have the code area. So this is where you'll be coding, and you have the message area. So if you're doing something, so if you're saving, sometimes bigger programs, it takes a couple of seconds, or like say more than that, to save. So and if it is compiling, it takes some time. If it is uploading, it takes some time. So this message area is where the IDE will say I have done something. So I have done saving, I have uploaded the file, and all those things actually. And we have the text console. So this is where your in case if you have a syntax error, like that will appear here. Any error for that matter, like will appear here. And finally, the most important thing. So this is the first thing you will check. So this is where you will have what board is connected in what communication, or like COM ports, we used to call them as, in what COM port it is connected. So we have an Arduino Uno connected on COM port 4. So this is very, very important. If you have multiple boards, if you're programming multiple boards and you have different boards, make sure like you're connected to the same one. So if you don't see any, so go to tools and like try and connect with that board. And one more thing which is not mentioned here is the line numbers. So the line numbers will also be present here, and then like that will be indicated right here. So that is Arduino IDE. And in the next submodule, we will get into coding, and that's just the fun part here.